All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, K4CO Radio. We are sitting in the studio with a wonderful interview going on right now. We just got done with a little Afternooners with Sarah playing a lot of Colorado artists. And we are sitting down with a wonderful Colorado band, Saint Somebody.
Hey!
All right, awesome. So we got we got Justin Spicer.
Hello there.
And we got Allison.
Hello.
We have Vance, who's keyboards and vocals.
Ahoy.
Ahoy. And Denny.
Yep.
Bass.
And the bass, yes.
The bass. All right, love it. Justin, you're mainly guitars and vocals, correct?
Yep, that's true.
And then Allison, you just sing like an angel right there. Vocals, exactly. If you don't remember, we were actually on Great Day, Colorado with Justin and Allison a little while ago. You can go to the K4CO website, k4coradio.com, under media, and you can hear them actually play an acoustic version of a song, And Now, which we will be playing today through the interview. And welcome, guys. Thanks a lot for coming on, guys and gal.
Thank you.
Great to see you. Thanks for
having
having
us.
me.
Thank you for having
Well, I
us.
kind of want to just jump into a song real quick, kind of let our listeners know all about you and through a song. So I wanted to play Overthrown.
Hey.
And last time we had we played a few songs, but we did not play Overthrown, and I like it. It's different because it has horns in it, first of all, and kind of sounds a little Caribbean style on it, I would say. Justin, you're the main songwriter on this. Tell us why you wrote this song. What is the song about to you?
Well, this is a joyful song. There's a lot of fun in the vibe, but beneath it is actually the recognition about what is overthrown, and it's really about discovering something far greater than myself and having the ego overthrown. And there's a puppy dog licking in my lap, and it's
So
can't see
everybody,
that
yes,
at home on the radio.
no, we do have a dog in the studio today, so
Super cute dog.
very friendly. Yeah.
That's what's underneath the song, but all in all, very just joyful production and collaboration here with my bandmates recording Overthrown.
It definitely is. All right, let's get right to that. Everybody, this is Saint Somebody with Overthrown on K4CO Radio.
Sailor lost far out at sea, and you once were a great wave that rolled over me. I was overthrown. I was overthrown. I was overthrown. 'cause I was overthrown. I was overthrown. I was overthrown. Well, I had plans to rule these lands, never asking consent from us all. Well, I now gladly hand you my crown, 'cause I have been sailor, lost far out at sea. You once were the great wave that rolled over me. I was overthrown. I was
Overthrown. That is by Saint Somebody right there. Man, I love that song. Again, it's very kind of like Caribbean and very fun, very uplifting, I guess.
Yeah, we sound good.
You guys do sound good. That you do. If you're just joining in, we are sitting here with Denny, bass player. How's it going, Denny?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing great. We got Allison, the wonderful vocals right there.
Hello.
We got the vocals and guitar work of Justin.
Hello, and that's me on the face trumpet too.
And that's right. That's right. We were actually, you can see this on the Great Day Colorado, where out of the blue he just starts playing trumpet with his mouth, and that was just, I was shocked. I was like, that is awesome. I can't do that. We also have Vance on keyboards and vocals right there.
Hello.
So,
I played
yeah.
trumpet in high school, and I always very much enjoyed Justin's mouth trumpet. Like,
Yeah,
man,
you like
your
that better than the
embouchure
regular
is
trumpet?
spot on, and all the sounds are there. So bravo to you, Justin.
Isn't embouchure a fun word to say?
Embouchure, yeah. Maybe that's not how you say it.
That's
but
one of the qualities I appreciate about you, man. Your embouchure.
I have kind of a crooked front tooth, and I always played my trumpet with a little bit of side lip action.
Side lip.
Sounds kinky.
But I was first chair, so you couldn't knock me off of that stool. I was the best for sure.
It was all the side lip.
It's all about the lip. That's right, the side lip. So you guys got a show coming up. That's one big thing, because you guys have a new album, and so this is kind of the album release celebration.
It
and
is.
this is on the 13th. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we're playing at Lost Lake Lounge right there on Colfax. It's a Denver institution these days. There's so many great musicians coming through and playing music there, and we're just real excited to work on getting our music out there and developing community, connecting with people. Colorado is so full of amazing musicians.
It is amazing. I mean, we we have over 100 artists right now, and we haven't even been open for a year.
Wow.
So it's crazy, and I think we're the only ones that have an open door policy for it. So really helps out about that.
I mean, there was no selection process. We made it through.
No, hey, actually, every single submission goes through the founders, goes through the staff. Everybody hears it. Everybody has to say yes.
Aha,
So
nice.
Yes, everybody said yes.
Thank you for the
Excellent.
yes.
Yes, of course. So, well, actually, we were just talking, Vance. You're a little nervous about the show, aren't you?
I am a little bit, and I was telling you while we were playing that wonderful song, thank you for that as well, that I can't find out why I'm nervous. Just through my daily life, there's some back end stress, and I'm like, hey man, you're gonna go on stage and perform,
and you don't
do your
normally
best.
get nervous.
No. When
Yeah.
I'm on stage, I feel very composed and relaxed, and I love playing music by myself and two people, and of course with my wonderful bandmates here. But there's this kind of some little background noise in my brain, and I think it's the motivation to do well.
Right.
It's a driving force, and I'm very excited to be here and be able to promote our show Friday the 13th. It's going to be really cool.
It's a perfect day for it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And I'm not nervous right now being here either. But yeah, we were talking about it happens a little bit. I think it's a good stress.
Yeah, of course. Does anybody else kind of get a little stressed out before you guys play?
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The nerves are a real thing for performing. You know, many, many years ago, I got to work with a woman named Chris Calloway, whose dad was Cab Calloway.
Oh, yeah.
And she told us, she said that every time her father performed, that he felt the nerves right before he went on, and he would pray that he had what it would take to go out and give the audience the show that they deserved. And I think it's not about not having nervousness, but about accepting that and going out there and being at peace with it. So you bet there are nerves, but
Denny doesn't get nervous. He's looking
Not
at
at
frown.
all.
He's like, what are you guys talking
you
about?
never know it. This
He's
guy
the
is
cold
cool.
cat. He's just...
Nah, to me, it's more about preparing. If you feel prepared, I feel fine, and I'm ready for the stage, you know. But I know it's a very common thing. Actually, I was at the Les Claypool's Flying Frog Brigade concert, and he's playing with John Lennon's son, and he was talking about how John Lennon, his father, was always having to work, like, get the stage fright, and he had to work through that. So I know it's a pretty common thing. I just get excited. I really like doing this stuff. So to me, it's more about if I feel prepared, if I can hear myself, if the sound is good. So much we've been working on in-ear system to make sure everything it's fine-tuned. So as long as those things are in place for me, I can feel pretty calm.
So you're saying as long as the sound check's doing his job and the sound guy.
That's why we're trying to minimize the problems, having our own in-ear system and all that, you know, trying to get all the technical side with as little room for problems as possible. But there's always going to be some. But, you know, when you minimize those things, then I feel pretty comfortable.
Do you guys have any like little rituals or something before you go on? You want to share?
I want to hold my mouth shut, and we'll let you guys talk first. I want to point out everybody else's rituals.
No words from side tongue. What about you guys?
I love my vocal coach. She recently told me that one of hers, and I've adopted it since, is she goes into the bathroom and she crosses her arms and squeeze her earlobes, and she squats down. She's like, she gives herself positive affirmations, but there's something to it, like, there is some psychology which I can't recite. I have no clue what it's about, but it's calming the nervous system. There's something about the cross body and I'm like, okay, so I'm doing that. I'm breathing. I'm reminding myself, like, people want to see you succeed. That's really what this is about. And I'm trying to also remind myself that when I'm feeling the anxiety, could it be just excitement? Could I lean into the excitement of the experience rather than clinging to, the scary anxiety part? So that's my weird ritual right now.
I like it. I like it. Justin?
I heard the going into the bathroom and squatting part of that, and then but I really like the leaning into the excitement part of your ritual. I really do.
Well, that's kind of leaning into the excitement, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So your album just came out a little while ago. You guys went and did a whole album, which is a little different today, which I miss albums. I do. I miss going to the store, getting the whole album, all the artwork and like the lyrics in there and everything. Not many bands are doing that. A lot of bands these days are just doing song at a time, singles. So what made you guys decide, we're just going to do an album instead of releasing these guys as singles?
I'll tell you this, the project, the album, and the band has been in the works in my heart, like my whole life. And it took meeting Allison and get to develop the wherewithal to actually follow through with pursuing this. And to develop this band, and we've got Tyler Edmonds, our drummer, who's not here with us with the dog that's licking the microphone. I think Tyler, the dog, is trying to send little licking kisses to you because we're not complete without you here, Tyler. But
True.
But to call in this crew and all this was such a long time coming that, I'm from the 70s. I grew up in a world where music came in albums. That's just the way it was. And some people try to talk me into doing it differently and just releasing individual songs. And I say, gosh, you know what? I've got to get an album out of my system. It needs to happen. and then we can see what comes next, if it's singles or EPs or more albums. But I just couldn't be dissuaded by the logic of not doing an album, and just the love of the album form that, you know, is older than I am.
It's kind of like an author releasing a chapter of a book instead of the actual book, where it's just like, what's going on here? I agree with that. And you guys recorded this in a place called the Blast Room.
The Blasting Room.
Blasting Room. We didn't go over this last time. What's the Blasting Room?
The Blasting Room is a fun little studio up in Fort Collins, Colorado.
I wouldn't say little though. It's massive.
It's legendary.
It is a legendary studio, but it's in this nondescript building, kind of similar to the one we're in. You wouldn't recognize it as, I bet there's, you know, $1 million worth of audio equipment.
They don't put a sign. Like,
yeah, there's no sign.
I wonder why.
And our producer was so wonderful. And Andrew Berlin actually sought out by Justin Spicer. He was reading, and I'll let you fill in those gaps. But the man was so creative. We'd come to him with an idea, and he was more than willing to bend over backwards to see if it would work. And it was cool to see someone with such experience on the computer. You know, they're constantly editing and using different microphones. It was as if he was learning the whole time as well, and he'd been doing it forever. Clearly was the best of his minions, and everybody was vying for the apprenticeship underneath him. And so that was also fun to work with ancillary studio professionals who could help set up the drum kits. And I remember Justin asked if we could record this song to the Victor on a real piano, and I proposed that the microphones be recorded in a different spot. He had opened up some Beatles book, like, this is how they made Abbey Road or something. And I said, you know, I have tuned pianos before and played plenty of them. The soundboard on the bottom is just as loud, and then it's not piercing my ears. I might be more concentrated. And it happened. So it was the most amazing experience. I called it band camp. It was a whole month. I took off work. I didn't pay a dime, so thank you guys very much for footing the bill on that one. And once in a lifetime experience, and to come out with something so polished as our album is really an accomplishment, and hopefully it's not the last album either.
Heck yeah.
And that's, you called that band camp?
I called it band camp because we'd all come back. It was just far enough outside of, you know, the house I'm renting that we actually stayed up in Fort Collins as a band, and we'd eat dinner together and breakfast together, and then play music in the studio for 10 hours straight. It was awesome.
Well, it's good you guys didn't kill each other, because, you know, a month together in close quarters. So, I mean, you hear that about bands. So Blasting Room with a month with Andrew Berlin, and I do definitely agree with, you know, I love technology, but today sometimes it's like, oh yeah, my buddy, you know, Bill, he just got this software and he can mix and master, and it's just like, dude,
not true, right? No, yeah, not exactly. A chance.
The guy we go through, wonderful guy up at Colorado Sound Studios, Tom Capek, he's been doing this for like 30 years and he's still learning. Yeah. And it's just one of those vocations where it's just absolutely nuts. So Andrew Berlin then was really good to you guys.
Well, in all of these recordings, he's a member of the band in those recordings, because you know, it's a collaboration and a participation throughout, and the idea is to work with someone who you can trust to care and really be present to it, versus phoning it in as another day at the office. And I think today it's very difficult because there are many studios for hire, and this is what folks do for a living. But to find somebody who'll show up and understand how much it means to us.
Right.
And something I was tremendously grateful for was that any time we'd say, hey, I have an idea, the response was, what is it? Let's make it happen.
Right.
Even before saying what the idea was. And the openness to do stuff and try stuff. And it was fantastic. And it's not something that I would have been able to do on, you know, we have a nice studio we practice in with our software and our hardware, but
yeah, and we can record our songs.
Sure. But having, you know, it's the production is Andrew's instrument. You know, I'm playing the guitar, Vance is playing the keys, and Andrew was our man playing the engineering, and wonderfully so.
Right. Nice. Yeah, I'm kind of jealous. That's awesome. Just an entire month of that, and it took you a month to do all of this. For the most part.
Well, we 5 days a week for the better part of 4 weeks. And, this was 14 songs. This was and I didn't know that we would actually record all 14 songs. I had proposed 14 songs from a songbook that I have, and was kind of surprised that none of them got cut. And we put them all out there, and I think that was very fun. But I think it's also, I can understand why in this day and age people release singles. So you reach out to your friends and say, hey, I released an album, will you check it out? It's like, I don't have bandwidth to watch a 3-minute video on TikTok.
Right.
I've got a TikTok attention span, man.
Well.
Send me a single. So I think there's a lot of logic to, in our culture we have such abbreviated attention spans. I know you just changed the channel already before I even finished what I was saying. So.
As long as any squirrels don't go running around, you should be fine.
Squirrel.
But yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, let's get to another song. So this one is the one on Great Day, Colorado that you guys both did. And you guys did it kind of because you heard Sarah Duke, our Vice President of Media Relations, absolutely loved it. And this was one of the first songs we put in our rotation. One of my favorites because in my mind it just starts out so beautiful and slow, and then when that chorus kicks in it's just powerful. And it's all about as I think you said last time, it's all about trusting somebody. Where are you going to be, and being there for somebody. And I just really love that message. But tell us again really about this song when you kind of came out with it, either one of you, Allison or...
Well, I was actually on my way to martial arts class on my motorcycle, and I sang this song into my motorcycle helmet, and that was many years ago, but it was very angst driven in a way, and sort of the heartache of feeling like people are close at hand when all is well, but then when you're blue or hurting, will those same friends be available, and can we love one another and ourselves for our whole selves, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Right. Well said. I like it. All right, we will be right back with the interview with Saint Somebody. Here is their song, And Now, on K4CO.
So what if you're here when I'm happy? So what if you're here when I seem to be king? So what if you're here when all the world seems small? 'Cause I'm on top of everything. And where will you be when I'm angry? You're here when I'm happy. So what if you're here when I seem to be king? So what if you're here when all the world seems small? 'Cause I'm on top of everything. And where will you be when I'm angry? Where are you now?
that's been the feedback, and it's so the album's so eclectic from one song to the other. They are so different yet with the same vibe and all. But I feel that that's the reason that each person resonates with different songs, and they will give us the feedback that oh, this is my favorite song, or that's my favorite song, or when you just say like, oh, this should be your single. It's very wild to hear the range that, you know, different people like different songs, and I love that about it. And that's why I usually tend to say, I know you were mentioning how you give them a couple songs to listen to. I just say like, listen to them all. They're all different from each other. Try, you know. I know everybody's got the doom scrolling, short attention span thing, but it's an interesting album, and I'm sure that each person is gonna like something different. That's at least that's how it's been so far, and I love that about the album too. It's like a very wide range of emotions and feelings, and people resonate to different things, and I think that's really cool.
And those kind of albums really resonate, in my opinion. You know, listening when I grew up, it's kind of like an album tells a whole story. You know, from going from this direction to this direction to this direction. That's one thing you don't get when you release everything as singles nowadays. Right. You don't get a whole album, you know, a whole novel.
That is something that's been lost, and I see it in my kids too, because they will show me songs. And I'd be like, all right, show me that band. Like, let's play an album. Like, oh, I don't know any albums. Like,
I just know this song.
Right? Yeah. So that this mindset's it's changed a lot, but I do miss it. I do miss the whole full experience of listening to an album beginning to end. Like, I still remember when I listened to, you know, Dark Side of the Moon for the first time, beginning to end. It was like, whoa. So when you get these little bits and pieces of full work, it's kind of different. And I think most artists nowadays are even focusing on a song at a time. Doesn't have that thought of creating a story throughout the full album, and that's something that's being lost, unfortunately. But I guess I love the fact that I can just pull out any album in the world in a streaming service and just listen front to back, you know. Yeah. And that's something that I really enjoy. I hope that other people do that same with our album.
And Dark Side is a really perfect way to say. Dark Side is one of those where if someone said, "What's the best song?" I don't know. I love them all.
It's all one song.
Exactly.
You definitely get different answers.
You do. Yep, you do. So let's talk about a little bit how you guys met and everything like that. So I remember the story about how Vance, you and Justin met. Tell that again.
We met in a Guitar Center, and Justin asked me if I was in a band, and I laughed. And no, man, I'm not in a band. But Justin's version of the story is much more funny because I have all these little quirks, and I'm kind of a funny guy in my own mind, let alone my perception or for what other people think. So if you could tell them how you met me in a Guitar Center, that might be more entertaining.
Well, fate had a hand in it that we both happened to be at the same Guitar Center, and that you were set at the keyboard and you didn't have headphones on. And if you had headphones on, I couldn't have heard you playing. And I'd been working so hard to call in this band together, and you listen to these songs on here and hear how prominent the keys and the piano is, and I just had always been looking for the right collaborator to play the piano and play keyboard, and so here's this guy, and I'm thinking, hey, can this guy play? Let me listen here. So I pretended to be shopping and was actually really just eavesdropping. And there's the little moments I thought, nope, that sounds like you can't play. And then before I was about to walk away, I'm like, wait, no, maybe he can play. And then I heard him talking to himself. And Vance was going, oh, damn it.
It's like perfect. He's crazy too.
I was very frustrated. I have a piano at my house, and I played every day in my little triplex in Seattle, and I moved out to Colorado to help my little brother start his business, and that's been loads of fun. But I didn't bring my piano, so I was jonesing, working in the mountains, building log cabins, and I had to go to a Guitar Center because you can't lose that stuff. You play music your whole life, and then someone takes your instrument away from you, you've lost something. So I was very excited to be in the Guitar Center And I didn't care that people were listening. And of course, yes, I'm cursing because I remember being able to play wonderful things, and it was not coming out to my fingers. And here's Justin stalking me. Maybe not. Maybe. And then, well, I don't know what gave you the courage to finally come up to me and.
Well, you
did I stop playing? Yeah, was that it? Like, what could happen?
I'll walk up to any random Joe. It doesn't take courage. I just but you were friendly. We had a very nice chat for quite a while actually, and then you came into the studio, and we both tell that story very differently. But we played a lot of music for a long time together, and we've been friends and collaborators ever since. And Vance is an integral part in the music, and forming this group has been such an adventure. Allison has been here with me. Allison is my lady, my fiance, and I rented a room from Allison nearly 7 years ago, and we've been together ever since. But putting the band together has been quite the adventure, and the number of bass players that I personally played with since starting this outfit it exceeds a dozen, no joke. And Denny not only has the skill and the musicianship, but the presence on stage, but also, with each of these people, including Tyler Edmonds, our drummer, who had just moved here from Austin, Texas, by way of Florida before that. And, these are people that I love them, and we've developed these friendships, and you can tell when a friendship is beginning. And these friendships here, a year or two in, we're just beginning these friendships. So.
I think that's probably why I laughed at you. Are you in a band? It's like, no, man. Will you come audition to my band? And I didn't have any friends in Colorado.
Okay, right.
So just something in me was, yeah, sure. I said, sure. I think that's what I said. Yeah, sure, man.
Yeah, whatever, sure.
I'll come audition for your band. Great. And right before Justin leaves, he says, you can't meet the whole band. Actually, you just got to come to my studio, and I'm going to see if you're up to snuff. And then if I give the go-ahead, you can meet the rest of the band. Yeah, people. I was like, okay, great. Justin's going to put some sheet music in front of me. Can you read music? Play me some rock and roll. What are your things? You're in the band. Wrong. Justin brought his guitar out. I did show up. That was very fun. Not my friend yet. Some weird guy is like, let's see if this goes somewhere. And we've become the best of friends. Right. I say wife, you say fiance. Allison's been more than kind, and the whole thing has worked out. But I ended up playing with Justin for well over 4 hours in this audition. I was like, man, did I get the part or not? He's like, well, we got
not 4 hours.
Yeah. We have to play all of the songs, and then at the end, congrats, you're in. And Justin tells the story differently, but that's how I remember it. And it's been a wonderful friendship, and I very much enjoy making music with all of us. So.
See, Justin, I would have messed with him and just be like, thanks, but no thanks. Right after 4 hours. I'm kidding. And Denny, you're actually not from here. I can kind of tell a little bit. Where are you from?
I'm from Brazil.
Brazil.
Originally from Brazil, yes.
When'd you get money out here?
Well, Colorado, the last 8 years I've been here. And it was intense research because I wanted the beach and the warm weather, but I was spoiled by Brazilian beaches, and there wasn't anything that really matched, and ended up being the school system here was really good, so that was something that ended up bringing me here. I was afraid of the cold, to be honest, but then I read it was 300 days of sunlight average. I was like, okay, I can do that. Yeah. As long as it's not gray and cold all the time, it's all good. So yeah, that's how I ended up here, and I have been here for a little while, and before I met them, I have a couple of other bands, local bands. I have a tribute to Guns N' Roses called Appetite for Destruction, and also another original project called Templetown Groove. But I was looking for more of a working band, and I was talking to a friend. She's a drummer, and I asked her if she knew about anybody needed freelance work, and then she pointed to their ad, and that's when I got in touch with Justin. But it was. I even forgot I had applied to sent you an email or anything because I didn't hear back, and And then all of a sudden he calls me and it's like, hey, we have this project. We're halfway through the recording. We need a bass player to record the other parts. Are you interested? And I was like, definitely. And just auditioned, recorded. And when he accepted me in the band, it was the same thing. I didn't get to meet anybody just yet. But
you keep it really like secretive.
I thought he had been burned a few times apparently. But it was so much fun when I did meet the band and we were rehearsing for the album recordings, and everybody was so nice and everybody was so receptive that I was like, if you guys do need somebody to continue on and do some live gigs, I'll be down. And they were like very happy about it. I didn't know they were really wanting to have a bass player full time. So far I was just a session musician, but it was a lovely surprise, and it's been great. I really enjoy hanging out with you guys. Most of my best friends are musicians, so this works great.
They kind of flock together.
Yeah,
exactly.
We're all crazy, the same crazy. It matches the crazy.
So Denny and Vance, you guys really just kind of like clinged on to it. What kind of went through your mind? Were you sold after? You said it wasn't after that 4-hour audition. You said we just gradually grew to just become really good friends.
The friendship wasn't there. Yeah. The band part and the, welcome to, like, Justin gave me the passcode to the studio and a key, and, I can clean you out. So there was a lot of trust, and I took that trust as a wonderful opportunity to embrace the humanity of your fellow man. So right. I thought it was a very fun opportunity. Man, this he's totally legit. You're given this blanket trust for no reason at all, except you're a fairly accomplished pianist. I need you kind of thing. And I was willing to give my talents for nothing other than friendship. And it was very fun. And it truly has grown into this perfect working relationship where I'm more than happy to call up Justin and play ping pong and not play music. Right. And that's that's where it goes into friendship. Yeah. Outside of that professional musicianship, where you can have some kind of, what do they call it? Like I don't know, the man friendliness. The
bromance?
It's not a bromance. Yeah.
Don't be afraid of the bromance.
I admit it.
Denny and I Vance and I can go toe to toe on ping pong all the time, and Allison does well holding her own, but none of us can touch Denny.
I don't think any of us
on
can
the
beat
ping pong
Denny.
table, nor the foosball table. Is like superhuman.
Americans can't do that, man. Come on.
There was nothing else to do growing up, so that's all we had access to. So you end up getting a little bit good at it.
Denny says, "Do you play foosball?" And he's gonna stomp you at that too. So.
But I'll tell you about like inviting folks over to play music just one-on-one, as you can get a real sense of the personal chemistry. And there are a lot of people out there that maybe in their hearts they're kind, warm, friendly people, but on the exterior kind of hard to see that. And it really doesn't matter what somebody's chops are musically if they can't be kind and warm and just enjoy the fact that playing music together with good people is a blessed way to spend time, then who needs you?
Right.
And each person that has come on board of this project, your time is sacred, and and I'm willing to put any unlimited amount of time and effort into developing this musical trajectory. But I don't like to just show up and say, okay, everybody get together, we're going to spend 2-3 hours tonight meeting some guy. Hold on, let me look up what their name was again. I prefer to say, hey, I spent 2 or 3 hours because I played with a whole bunch of people that I did not introduce to the rest of the crowd. Not to say they weren't great musicians or whatnot. It's just, could you picture having band camp together? No.
Yeah. There's also a certain vibe. There's a certain, can you get along?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And are we going to co-create? And honestly, when you bring a composition, some of these songs, I've had them for so very long, and to say, hey, I'd like you to play on this and I welcome your input, that is an intimacy. There's an intimacy in co-creating music.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't have anything to do with bromance or romance. It has to do with expression and true spirit, and this is the substance of my being that I'm expressing through music. Music is something otherworldly. And when we connect in that way, it is truly meaningful. So if somebody's too cool for school, and because we met a number of too cools for school. I mean, come on, remember there was a person that came in to play some percussion at one point that
was way too cool for school.
It was just like, all right, thanks for your time, but we're enjoying one another, and we don't need to be the greatest musicians. We're just doing what we can, loving our time together, treating one another the way that we want to be treated. So, can you abide by the golden rule? That's definitely a rule for being in the band.
Yeah.
You're pretty talented, Justin.
Thank you, my friend.
Don't pretend like, it's all about the friendship. You have no slouch.
Well, I appreciate that very much, and I have my own, insecurities and nerves, and I get in the room with you guys and think, holy cow, man, I'm so lucky to be playing with these folks. And ever since hearing Allison sing, I thought, man, I just really want to be around while she sings a lot. And so I've been so pleased that you and I have been able to spend so much time collaborating, because your voice just does magical things for me.
There's something to be said about finding that group, finding that place where, you belong, I guess. Actually, that's a good segue. So I want to go into another song. It's kind of, Justin, you kind of said it drives in the message of community, but to me, it's a little bit more than that. Again, this one has horns, sounds a little Caribbean to me as well, kind of a very good, feel-good song. But there's a great line as it finally find that place where I belong. But what really also interested me was your bridge. Because there's this bridge where really it's just you talking in a Vance, I think it's just you on the piano. And you're just talking about holding up a cardboard sign and cars driving by, and just, I thought it was really cool. So kind of tell us about that before we play it.
Well, this song just takes me way back to, say, the era of Jack Kerouac traversing this great land and being out there with this thumb out on the road and just, looking for something meaningful. And this is yet another song that is just joyful, and I think it's got a lot of Americana to it. And, on its surface, it's just pure joy, and at its core, yet again, there's some meaning about really, truly wanting to find a place that we feel like we're wanted and really seen for who we are. And so the song and the lyrics don't get deep. It just stays fun and light, but it's got some heart to it here. To come carry me home.
To come carry me home. We will be right back here saying somebody to carry me home on K4CO.
Turning left from Tucumcari, what the heck was I to do? So I ditched all my belongings and headed out beneath the moon. There's nowhere I can steer but wrong. So I abandoned my jalopy to find some other way to a place where I belong. You didn't mean it. You said I was a fool. Even with the best intentions, words can often cut so cruel. I never meant to steer you wrong. We've gone our separate ways, and I'll surely be amazed when I finally find that place where I belong. stick out my thumb, holding out a cardboard sign that says, or bust, beneath the words, written out ever so legibly, so there's no question you can read it, even at high speed, before you zip right on past me with a big, thick, black Sharpie marker. My cardboard sign will say, where I belong. I always seem to steer me wrong. So I'll stick out my thumb and hope to hitch a ride to a place where I belong. Where I belong. Still later on, turning right from Tucumcari, maybe I can find my way to a place where no one ever says things they didn't mean to say. This road trip sure is getting long, and I hope it finally leads to a mystical, enchanted place where I belong.
To come carry me home. Absolutely love that one right there. And yeah, it's just it's fun. I don't know. It makes you feel good just kind of listening to that.
Like that.
I was telling them I just want to be on a beach right now, listening to that guy. So, Justin, you're the main songwriter. How do you choose what to write about? Because your songs have a lot of different. I don't know, spread of different emotions, different ideas.
Well, I appreciate that feedback. I feel, we were talking before about the album having a story to it or having some diversity, and I feel like as human beings, we are multifaceted phenomenon, and we've got joy and we've got expression, we've got energy and celebration, but we also have contemplation and pain and darkness, and there's so much that we all have within us. And I do have this memory of going to see this super lively bar band, and I brought a guy I was playing music with years ago, and I said, what do you think of them? And he said, they take me one place. And they did that one place ever so well, but I have come to truly cherish the bands that can tap into the different parts of our beings. Like, great, this song helps me want to celebrate, but then this song makes me feel like my pain is relatable. So I feel like, to go back to your question, is exploring a song, is this about something? Is it about something real? Do I relate to it and have a sense of what this song is for? And hey, possibly if the song is genuine and means something to me, then somebody else might connect with it, and thereby we might create a connection through music. And that to me is a driving ambition in music, is to create meaningful connections with other people, the way that we've done with our band members here, and with you and Sarah and this dog that keeps licking us.
I love this dog.
It's all about connection. So is there substance to a song that can be meaningful? And if so, let's further explore it, and it might just wind up in an album.
That's the greatest wish, I think, for musicians, is that people can listen to that song, and even if it's completely different from why you wrote it and what it's about to you, they make a connection.
Absolutely.
For it. That's one of the greatest things about everything. So, the show, you got the show coming on up for the album release party. This is at Lost Lake. It's on Friday the 13th. Gotta love that. What's it like getting ready for the show? I mean, you're nervous, Vance.
No, I'm not terribly nervous.
A little bit more so than normal.
Yeah.
You know, and then we got, Denny over here who's like, whatever, I'm fine.
The confidence comes in the preparation. I think Allison and Justin, we're going to go do some vocals after the show, this interview. So just staying up on your chops and being ready to give people a great show.
Right.
That's really what we want to do. Let's sell some tickets and show the locals the music that exists around them. So
Love it. Definitely.
I think people will be happily surprised when they see how much has gone into this show. We go out and support a lot of wonderful musicians, and for us, this is a releasing of our album and something that's been in the works for so long. So there's a lot up our sleeves, and that I even think our band here is going to be surprised by how fun the show is going to be. We've got a VJ coming up, Andrew Breslin. He's a wonderful guy from Boulder. He's coming down to do some visuals with us, and we've got an opening act, Dusty Radio, a great friend of mine, Taga Plantel, who's been a musician here in Colorado for years. So Dusty Radio opening up, and we're super excited that down from Fort Collins is a band called Overhang, and they're going to come play after us to just keep the celebration going while hopefully you come up and buy a CD and a t-shirt. But it is going to truly be a great night. It's above average. Great, amazing night awesome. There on Colfax. And who doesn't love Colfax? So Friday the 13th, we want you to come out. And you can find the tickets on our website, stsomebody.com. That way we can get you fee-free tickets. And come on down and help us pack this out, because the show will only be as amazing as the people who are there. So we'd love to have you there.
And that brings up something about this, because this is just a little bit more than just music to you, Justin. You really have a sense of not only your band members but community too. I mean, you guys really, you've talked about that even the last time that you guys were in here. So who are you guys in a nutshell? If I were to say, I'll ask actually each of you kind of a little bit, who is Saint Somebody in a nutshell? Let's start with Vance.
Oh golly. Talent for sure at the beginning. A bunch of talented people, seemingly by accident, but we all know it's by Justin's perseverance, has amalgamated this group of musicians, and we've all kind of looked to the left and right of each other and been able to curate this music together. And so it's really a collaboration. What are we? We're a band that's been collaborating. We practiced the whole year before we got into the studio with the bandmates to make it happen. And Justin earlier spoke about his binder of music. Wow, how did you release a whole album, 14 songs? Justin has 100 songs.
Right.
And this, you have to start with one. And so these are what made the cut. Some of them that were cut might even be better than what we recorded. But the vision was started, and what is Saint Somebody? It's a big collaboration, and it's 5 souls out here trying to do something. And
you get a lot of freedom with that in the band. I imagine.
Yes, definitely. Everyone's ideas are respected and explored.
That's awesome. Denny?
I'd say this is a bunch of fun, talented people that I really enjoy hanging out with. And I'm sure that anybody that hangs out with us, especially while we're on stage, is going to love it.
Yeah.
It's really fun. It comes through. The chemistry that goes beyond the music does shine through. And that's why I'd love to have everybody there to see us doing it, because it's so much fun. I love it. And I've been playing for a long time with multiple bands, and the vibe that I got from this group, because I didn't get the luxury of work on the songs for a year. I just jumped in, had to learn it and do it right away, but it clicked so easily, and that's really what got me. That's when I was like, okay, I don't mind if you guys need me to play some live concerts. I'll be down. And because of this vibe. And I'm sure, and everybody that has seen us and has mentioned before, this vibe come through, and the show is going to be awesome.
It's a lot better in a show when you can tell that the band is just tight.
Right.
You know, they're really connected to each other. Yeah.
Exactly. That makes a big difference, especially for the musician and on the stage. You know, it's a whole other level of fun and comfort and, you know, desire to be there, and therefore the performance also, you know, shows that.
Allison.
Saint Somebody to me is a celebration of this human experience wherever we are, and that's where we've been, where we are, where we're going. When we talk about the band members itself, what being a band is to me is taking us exactly where we are. I love that in our collaboration we have conflict sometimes, and we get through that, and but we're calling in. We call in community. We call in this authentic expression of self, and Saint Somebody is just that celebration of self and each other and community to me.
Yeah, I don't think you can be called a family without a little bit of well, I forget the word that you said, but a little bit of conflict. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what grows. That's how you know people better. That's, you know, what builds that connection right there. Yeah. All right, Justin.
Yeah, sparks come off of friction, right? And even though, Denny, when you arrived, these songs were written out, you know, I can name a number of places where you modified the bass line and made it your own and improved it. And I even remember one time you just told me, oh, hey, I changed this line. And I listened to it and I thought, well, you sure enough did. And so it is. And I love it, the way that you've done it. It really is a collaboration. And, you know, when I first put up this website for Saint Somebody, stsomebody.com, I wrote music celebrating connection. And then over time came to think, gosh, I didn't really think that through. My heart just popped that right out. That was really true. It's about connection. And, you know, we've all had different times in our lives where we felt connected with different, you know, communities. And I think as we grow, that we desire a community that helps us to be who we are now and who we're becoming. You know, the community that I had many years ago is not necessarily the best environment for me to grow and thrive now. So I know for me, there's a real longing to connect with people in a meaningful way, that we can support them in their joy and expression, and, you know, pushing for their dreams, and love to ask for that support also. Hey, come out and support us as we express ourselves and work to realize our dreams. And that really is at the core of what this is for me, is that this band and the music is a dream that I couldn't access the courage to manifest for many, many years in my life. I had depression and a lot of difficult things standing in my way. But thank goodness something in my heart shifted and said, you know what? I'm worthy of a person like Allison in my life. I'm worthy of a friendship like I have with Vance, and that this guy Denny would choose to come and spend so much time being with me. And that makes me feel great about who I am. So really, for me, Saint Somebody is about the courage to pick a dream back up. Is there a dream that you ever had that you lost track of for any reason whatsoever? And however old you might be today, I'll be 49 tomorrow. And
Nice.
Saint Somebody is me picking back up my dream of music.
Love it. I absolutely love it. Thank you all for coming in. That is great. If you're just tuning in, then you're going to see this interview on our YouTube page, and that is going to be up in a few days. And there will be links to it on K4CO Radio.com. Saint Somebody is playing Lost Lake Friday the 13th down on Colfax. So definitely check that out. Website is stsomebody.com. You guys are playing with Overhang and Dusty Radio. That should be a great show. A lot of good fun times.
We're excited.
Oh, definitely. And so, thank you all. We got Denny on the bass. We got Allison. We got Justin and Vance. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Shout out to Tyler. He couldn't make it, our drummer.
Thank you all so much here
Thank
at K4CO.
Oh, no problem.
Thank you for
appreciate
being
you
here and
and all your
everything you do.
We
fantastic
have,
programming.
as you said, we have so much talent in this state and Denver and everything, and it's just it's such an honor to showcase it, give local bands a forum.
So we're sincerely honored by the support that you've given us, putting our music in your rotation and having us in here. It really means the world, and we thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Especially in a world like this today where there's so much music, everybody can put out anything. So catalysts like you guys and the work you're doing to actually help musicians to, poke their head through the crowd and stand out, those are very valuable to us. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And we're living in a world, so all these other streaming services are great, but sometimes, like me, I haven't listened to them because I am so bored of my playlist that I've heard 1,000 times over and over and over. So yeah, we got a place where people can just find new stuff and find local stuff that they know they can go see. And they don't have to pay hundreds of dollars to go do it.
And you can come see us Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th, that's right. All right, we're going to end this on a beautiful, beautiful song. To the Victor. Tell us about this one, Justin. Or Allison.
You go ahead.
Oh,
well, let's see. I think there's some, for me, this song is about the fight that I carry inside of myself, and when am I just going to be willing to let go of that? Just to let go of that. And I know Allison has a real connection with another meaning within the song. But you shared something, Joshua, which is so amazing. It's not about what the song is to the person who wrote it, but about art it belongs to the person who beholds that artwork. And so what the song means to me, hey, how great. But whatever a song, if we create something that is meaningful to you in any way, I'm just so excited about that. And I love hearing about what To the Victor means to you, Allison.
Mm-hmm. To the Victor, to me, is about learning how to step out of our own interpretation of the world. It's so much conflict is based off of assuming that we're hearing something from somebody else just because we're stuck behind our own lens. And so how do we move beyond that to truly understand where somebody else is? How do we hear them? And in that is a serenity.
I love it. I love it. Say Somebody, To the Victor. We're going to play that. And thank you all again for coming in. Absolutely.
Pleasure to be here.
K4CO Radio. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
We'll return to our regular programming. Make sure to catch Kind of Vague Radio from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. That is all Colorado artists as well. Here is Saint Somebody with To the Victor. Take care.
what's been said.